Hello, this is Tom Nowetner, the conversationalist. Funny thing happened on the way to Dunkin' Donuts today. It's Wednesday. Like, subscribe, share, do that little thing with the bell. You know what I'm talking about. No, not the nasty thing with the bell. You know about the bell. Anyway, listen, let's take care of aortic hope today. These people are doing good work. They make me happy. Happy, 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 happy. Go download their free patient guide and see what we're talking about here. Send them a little jingle, like them, subscribe to them, hit the bell. They have really good information, even if you don't have an aortic aneurysm. But I guarantee you, if you go get tested, somebody in your family's going to have one. Take it from me. Hindsight is 2020. All right, let's go to St. Jude, St. Jude, St. Jude. Who you can't find anything wrong with a hospital that takes care of kids. If you can, come see me. I have a cure for that. But that's another story. Let's go to PAD, peripheral artery disease. Yeah, they're saving people's legs. Now, in the 50s, I mean, you got, you know, diabetes, they just cut your leg off, first your toes and then your foot and then your calf and then it was ridiculous. It was like piecing out people. But now they can actually, clear veins and arteries and, put these balloons in there and actually get blood flow back into it. And remember what they say: walk, 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 and walk some more, because walking's good exercise as well as good therapy. Now I want to invite him up to upstate New York on the southern tier, sometime Saturday or Sunday, and we'll go walking through about 40 inches of snow. And the last but not the least, a rock sensation. Rock from the heart. This moneymaker not only gives you 2 days of fun and relaxation, but good music and lots of friends. So support Rock from the Heart. I like that. I've been at a symposium for the last 3 hours. Guy was talking about how to make podcasts. So I'm hyped up about that. But that's another story. Let's get on to the boys at Dunkin' Donuts. We had a full house today. There was 9 of us, the regular crew. So everybody puts in $5 every time we meet up for the kitty. And birthdays get paid out of that, and we go to breakfast once a month, gets paid out of that. But some of the guys show up and they got alligator arms. You know what alligator arms are? Look at an alligator. They got those little short arms in the front. They can't get to their wallet. They can't get the money out. But we harass them long enough so they get their stupid $5 out, and you never let them make their own change. They'd go in with a 20 and come out with 60. All right. Enough about the housekeeping. Oh, speaking of housekeeping, first thing Benny did was spill his coffee. I don't understand. How can a grown man spill his coffee as often as this guy does? I mean, there is not a T-shirt or a jacket he wears that doesn't have a big, huge coffee stain in the front. What is that all about? I guess that's another story, right? So we're in Dunkin' Donuts, right? There's 9 of us of the original crew, and we were arguing whether there's 13 or 15 of us left of the original crew, but 9 of us show up. So that's a pretty good showing. We always say if we get 6 guys, that's good enough. We got 9. So they've taken most of the tables and chairs out of Dunkin' Donuts because now they want you in and out. But there's still a rack of chairs on the end there, so we commandeer them, and usually we do that by putting Stinky in there and just let him go to town. And pretty soon all the young college girls are leaving because the freshener's not working. However, That's the way old guys handle shit like that. We voted 16 children that should have been Benadryl this morning before they were let out of the house. These children were in Dunkin Donuts, the haven of old guys, screaming and yelling about something that I know would have made my life better if I knew the reason why they were screaming. If you have children with you, go through the drive-through. Do not bring them aboard the plane. Yes, they will be slipped to Benadryl. But that's another story, right? Let's keep going. So today's topic was dun 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 dun. How much damage can Joe Biden do between now and January? Well, I guess he could do quite a bit because he's spending money like I don't know. See, everything I'm going to say is going to be just bad, and it all comes from the 50s and 60s. And I say these things, nobody understands them half the time. The rest of the time, somebody gets offended by it. You know what I get offended by? People who use their brakes before their turn signal. Don't be stupid. Ever since they took driver's education out of the high schools, they have just they've blown it. I swear to God, they've blown it because you know where you have to turn. You know long before you've been here 100 times going to Lowe's or going to Price Chopper. When you get close, put your turn signal on. When you get closer, put your brakes on. And now I know what you're doing. But for you just to stand on your brakes in the middle of a 4-lane highway, get to the intersection there, and then decide to turn your blinker on and make this real leisurely turn into the road. By this time, I'm ready to kill you. I'm sorry. I'm shooting out your back window. What is wrong with people? And that was my trip to Dunkin' Donuts. It started off that way. Not one, but two of these idiots. I wasn't going to tell you this part, but they were both old idiots. One looked like a skeleton. You ever see those people behind the wheel? Their hands are just like hanging on the steering wheel. They're real thin. They're looking like they're looking between the wheel and the dashboard. They're like aiming the car. Hey, and they're doing all of 27 miles an hour in a 30-mile-an-hour speed zone. Yeah, I just wouldn't it be nice if you had this like thing on your back of my truck? I could just reach over, pick them up, put them on the side of the road, and drive away. Yeah. So we're in Dunkin' Donuts, and of course, we're being loud and obnoxious. And of course, I am a real heathen. I still dunk my old-fashioned donuts, which is like I guess now is like next to being a Cro-Magnon or Neanderthal or something. Because everybody just is oh, you put your donut in your coffee? Yeah, and I drink the crumbs off the bottom too. Yeah. And then, because where we sit, that's where the bathrooms are, and that's where the door is to get behind the counter. So, we love to tease the kids when they're going to the bathroom, like, hey, don't use the right one. There's an alligator in there. Or, yo, buddy, last person went in that bathroom never came out. Now this kid goes running to his mother's holding on to her leg like, I can't use that bathroom. But you'll pee yourself, little Peter. Yeah. Gotta have some entertainment in this world. I'm telling you, you missed the boat on entertainment and how to grow up happy. We never, ever, ever owned a car. Most of us didn't have driver's licenses until we were almost in our 30s. We didn't need cars in the city. You're going on a date, your friend drove, or you get a car service or whatever, If you need a car for the night for you and your buddies, you just stole it. Well, you appropriated it and you drove it around until there was no more gas in it, and then you parked it. You didn't bang it up. You didn't cut the seats. You didn't pee in the back seat. You took care of the vehicle because these people, with their permission or out, were allowing you to use their vehicle for the night. So the least you can do is take care of it, right? And I'm sorry about the gas, but we didn't have a lot of money, so it was beer or gas, and you had enough gas anyway. So now at Dunkin' Donuts, there is a corner lot, and it's very easy to navigate if everybody goes in one direction. But every morning when we're there, we have what's called pools. And like one pool will be a quarter each, and another pool will be 50 cents. We even have as high as $1. Big spenders we are. So we have a pool by what time the first person will go the wrong way, pull in the exit rather than the entrance and go the wrong way and screw up everything. So I think it was like before 7:30 was the winner today. And it was like a nail biter. It was like 3 minutes to go before it lapped on to the next person. So anyway, and this was Davey, who never wins anything and tells you he never wins everything. But every time that there's something out there to win, he walks away with it. So nobody understands that anyway. So he wins. He gets I think he got about $1.75. And this lady in his really, 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 really nice Escalade comes in the exit hole rather than the entrance. She's in the wrong lane. The lane closest to the building is, the drive-through lane, and then there's parking on either side. Then on the side where the drive-through lane goes around to the back of the building, there's parking on both sides. And all you gotta do is put your backup lights on, put it in reverse, and people will stop and they'll let you out. You're not going anywhere. In the morning at 7:30, 8 o'clock, Dunkin' Donuts is knee deep in people. People are parking and coming in to get their groceries. People are sitting in line for the next 2 hours. They literally have meetings, I've been told. They've been in line for so long. Uh, but that's another story. So anyway, we're figuring on an hour here because everybody's got something to do. Honey do list, honey want to do, honey let's do. All those lists that your wife will leave you around the house that you crush them up, put them in your pocket, you never see the light of day again, right? So with Trump being in office and him putting all these other people in office that really aren't real politicians, but some of them have political backgrounds. But however, most of them are just, constitutionalist assholes. Let's call a spade. And I know that's not a good way to put this, but that's the way I feel today. I feel like I'm sitting back in the 60s listening to my Uncle Joe and my Uncle Mike and my Uncle Arthur and my dad talking about this new guy, Nixon. See, I was there. No, I didn't read this. Anyway, so the first thing they want to tackle is the Department of Education, right? So, being the connoisseur of Google that I am, I quickly Google it, and the original charter was for the Department of Education back in the 1800s was to make sure that money didn't go from white, black school districts to white school districts. When the money was allotted for the black school district, especially in the South, it would be stolen by the white school districts, or their supplies would be taken, or whatever. And that was the only mission of the Department of Education. To this day, that's their only mission. So tell me what they're doing. Mr. Shibwami, come on, guys. So he's saying, they're with everything being automated and everything being, at the state level for education wise, why is the federal government even involved? He said we can do away with the education department, save us all that money, spread out those employees to other areas that don't have enough employees that are, real bottlenecks. He said so we could solve two problems with one stone. We get all these trained employees to go to other departments, and we get rid of this budget. So I'm thinking, yay, Swami. I hear all this mumbling. I hate when there's mumbling. That means that there's like 3 or 4 guys with their heads together, usually up one ass, and they're talking to each other. And they're in total disagreement with what I just said, but they don't have the rags to do it. Say anything. It's bound on the table. So finally, between Benny and I, we poke and choke the shit out of them until they finally admit that, the Department of Education is necessary to fair and equal education to everybody across the United. I said have you ever seen any reports from the Department of Education? No. You see a lot of statistics that they get from the GSA. So if the GSA has the statistics and gives the Department of Education, Department of Education puts them out. How does that help us? We already got the information. Why do we need them to distribute? I say once again, because when we went over this with Benny, it was totally lost on him that we might be doing something redundant. And the reason it was lost because he doesn't understand the word redundant. So we had to explain it to him. And of course, Ed, who's the comedian of the group, had to do it in this voice booming like he was on stage at the comedy club, annoying all the people in Dunkin Donuts and bringing us our first warning of the day. So we're at a half an hour into this thing, and I want to do my commercial break. That way, Josh will not give me the finger.
We're 18 minutes in.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just let you
Sucks to
know.
be me. All right, we're 15 minutes in. Like the boys in Dunkin' Donuts says, close enough for government work. All right, like, subscribe, Tom Noetner, the conversationalist. Share, comment, make sure the bell's in the right position. Ring it once in a while, make you feel good. Aortic hope. Good people doing good things. Can't say enough about them. Give them a jingle. Send them some tingle. St. Jude. St. Jude. St. Jude. St. Jude. Good hospital, good organization. Only reason I got involved was because of Danny Thomas smoked cigars. And he smoked the same Cubans I did, which was pretty cool, I thought. I couldn't afford him. He could afford him. I couldn't afford him. But I sacrificed, Everybody's got to have their pleasures. And then let's talk about peripheral artery disease. There's a girl named Kim here. She's fabulous. Great interviewer. Somebody that asks specific questions, really direct, very nice, very easy to follow. And the doctor she has on seem to be, understanding of how to break it down to people who don't have 8 years of medical education. Okay. And then, of course, we'd be rocking right from the heart. Give them some love. Go follow them. Tell them Tom sent you. They won't know who the hell I am, but that just, it's a nice, interesting, conversation piece. And I'd also like to express that Cooper, the super dog, has just returned from his training session. What are you doing, Coop? Is he a good boy? All right, go find something to get into. Go, go chew one of Mom's shoes. All right, so here we are at Dunkin' Donuts, and the next conversation that goes on that you're gonna love, we're talking about what happened to all the feminists. We want to know all these women that ran around, from 63 to 69, 72, something like that. They were burning their bras and ripping them off in the middle of the street and throwing them in the garbage cans in New York City and all over the country. Where the hell did they go? And if we want to really see them, because they're all in their 60s and 70s now. So I think that, we should compare with their clothes on. Enough said about that. I know that'll give me a lot of comments, but uh, the only thing that came out of women's lib that's any good is that nothing. Okay, so the next topic of conversation was how people come into public places with their pajamas on. Now, we have seen them just pajama pants and coats and boots. And then we have seen them where they have their fluffy slippers on with their pajama pants and their pajama top and a jacket or a sweatshirt pulled over it so they look like a long john donut that somebody squished in the middle. Uh, we have seen these almost animalistic type people come through the door. When I say animalistic, I'm talking about they have a face that will stop a clock. You it you immediately look at him and it says, "Don't mess with me. I haven't had my coffee yet." And we do what we call a consideration account, where people coming and going, we have to give a certain amount of consideration to. Now, obviously, the young college types that are looking like they just came out of their dirty clothes pile, we have no consideration for. Older people, uh, well, we have two conditions for them. If they're smart Alex and give it back to us as quick as we give it to them, we give them a pass. And the ones that just shake their heads at us like we're a bunch of idiots, we know we're idiots. You don't have to shake your head and prove it. Anyway, so I'm quite confident that we scored quite high on consideration today. Seeing as a lot of the people that came through Dunkin' Donuts look like they needed another day off, or they should have went home after they got out of the drunk tank, if you know what I mean. Now, within our group, we all carry bail money. At one point or another, we've all needed it. It's not it's not socially correct. I understand, but from our era, if you have a few $100 on you, and now it's like 1,000 or so, it's just it's like a good cautionary tale. Who knows when you're going to jail? But a lot of things that I used to, get in trouble for and have to go, sleep overnight aren't even offenses now. I mean, we don't even charge people with things, but you got to have stolen $1,000 now before they'll even charge you with a misdemeanor. What's that all about? You got slapped so hard in the back of the head for taking one little square of bazooka bubble gum. I think it was like two or three. I just, just stand there, reached in the box, grabbed one, stuck it in my pocket. And I got belted all the way across the front of the store. I think it was to get my attention. I'm not really sure because my dad wasn't coherent after that, the way he was screaming at me. and I believe he ripped my pocket, getting the candy out of my pocket. So we really didn't have very many safe spaces. Usually it was curled up on the floor with our hands over our head like this. That was our safe space. But we're the same group of people that used to get underneath their desks because the atom bomb was coming. Now you look back at that, pretty funny. You know, teacher standing at the front of the room, you hear the loudspeaker and the horn go off, and everybody jumps up and gets underneath their desk. And we're such good children. We pulled into the chair after we got underneath the desk, so everything looked neat and tidy when we incinerate. Now, this is not anything anybody should do, but there was like this unspoken code that when you went out on Friday night, it was always just a gang of us on Friday. Saturday was the date night. Friday night was just blowing off steam from the week. So, you get some drunk to get your bottle of Mad Dog 2020 or Boone's Farm wine, or, you know, you, maybe you stole 4 cans of beer out of the refrigerator in the garage. Your dad's stash. You didn't grab a whole 6 pack. You just grabbed 4 beers. The way it looked like he was drinking it. And we never had enough booze to get drunk, which it was, but we were all drunk. How did that work out? It's just, it must be social psychosis or something. I'll have to look that up. But that's what we used to do. I mean, we would go to McDonald's. Oh man, whole car full of people go to McDonald's. You know, double cheeseburger, 29 cents. Fry is coming out in towel oil. Oh man, they were they were so good they slap them out of people's mouths. And I mean, if you got a couple of hamburgers and a couple of orders of fries, I'm telling you, you were never alone in the backseat of your car. There was always a couple of chibbies, sitting there eating your fries. And you know, nowadays people go to Starbucks and they literally sit there and don't look at each other. And they cover up when somebody walks around them because they don't want them to see their screen. Whether they were looking at porn, I don't know. Maybe it's the next big thing. It's not going to be Bitcoin. It's going to be Bushka coin. So that was one of the topics we spoke about, was the digital currency that's coming. They're introducing it through Bitcoin. Bitcoin is going to be this big thing, but eventually it's just going to be digital. Everything's going to be digital. And Big Brother will be watching you, so you don't overspend. But they'll keep your debt as the maximum. But and your interest rate at 29%. But they'll also shut you off when you're starting to spend too much money. And also, if you're gambling, they can see what you're gambling and keep it control on it. Will be the panacea, the thing that Gen Zs and Gen X, not Gen X, Gen Zs and Gen Alpha want. Control without control. The ability to say, I don't know how it works, but I can Google it. Oh, did I tell you about the chorus, the guys that come in? There's a lot of road work on Upper Front Street, so they usually take a break just about the time we're leaving. But today they took a break a little early. So they came in and they were standing there in everybody's way. I love it when you got probably 20 guys standing off to one side of Dunkin' Donuts underneath the TV, around probably 8 or 10 chairs. You got 20 people and you're trying to be unobtrusive. You don't want to be in people's way, but just by the mask. And one guy's talking about one thing and another guy's talking about another thing. There's 4 different conversations going on, 2 arguments. Oh, it's let me tell you, if you're an old guy and you're not taking advantage of your local coffee shop, Dunkin' Donuts, whatever it is, just don't go to Starbucks, please. You know, have more. You know, be sensitive to your body and don't put that redistilled alcohol in you. It's charcoal water. Anyway, I don't care where you go. You want to go to Starbucks and hang out with your pinky up all day long? I don't care. But anyway, if you're not taking advantage of your local Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts or whatever other coffee shop, rethink that. Now I know the that's all. I know the senior centers around here are really good. I mean, good food, good company, a lot of poker games going on, but you got to play with chips, so they got to pay each other off in the parking lot. It's like the old days. You know, you play poker in school from class to class, and then you pay off when you get out at the end of the day. Everything old is new again. Uh, but have that camaraderie. I mean, jump on Aortic Hope for their hangout on Thursdays at 2 o'clock. Lie, tell them you got an aneurysm in your brain because most of you old guys do. I'm sorry, you've been hit in the head so many times. You got to have something growing in there, especially the way you act and the way you smell. All right, once again, this is just an old guy rambling about his day. And one of the nice things is my wife still works. So she's out of the house by 7 o'clock, 10 after 7, and she doesn't come back. Her work day stops at 3:30, but she is a type that can't walk away from her job until 4 o'clock, and then how she does the next 2 hours, I don't know. She'll go to two places and be gone for 2 hours. It seems like she goes. Never mind. That's another story. If you got a wife, you know what I'm talking about. They can get lost. Honey, can you bring half and half home? Sure, darling. I'll bring you half and half home. 2 hours later, they walk through the door. They have 14 bags of stuff we don't need and no half and half because they forgot it. How does that work? I don't understand. However, that's just another story, right? Speaking of another stories, I found out my daughter wasn't voting, and then for my, you know, on election day this year for the general election that brought back Trump for the second time. My daughter set up a dinner, nice steakhouse dinner, and then went with us and voted. So I figure that was a good success, right? And now I have 100% voting atmosphere in my house again, and I can relax it all till the next crisis comes up. Now, anybody who has multiple children know that the only reason you had them was to have multiple grandchildren. But my oldest grandchild, Josh, he just got out of the Marines, and he's back going for a 4-year degree in some type of physiology. I don't know. He's whatever he's going to do, I'm sure he's going to be good at it. And Brandon, up and out from no place, he joined the Broome County Sheriff's Department as their uh, security tech. And actually, he doesn't know what his job is. It's the only title they had open, so they gave it to him. But he is a whiz with computers, so I don't know. Maybe he'll probably walk around checking doors and windows because that's where you start. Then you graduate into the sheriff's department or the corrections department. But everybody starts at the security level. In other words, you're a bullet catcher. You don't carry bullets, you just catch them. And if you don't understand that, send me a comment and I'll explain it to you. You know. Oh, Another topic of conversation, the Porkies. Porkies. It's a movie. I don't know if you've ever watched it. Josh, look up the trailer for Porkies. It's from the 1980s. Let's play the trailer. If you don't know this movie, if you have not watched this movie, I watched this movie last night. Play the trailer and we will see what it's all about.
Biggest man on campus. 20th Century Fox would like to introduce you to Pee-wee and his pals.
Big and already, Mother.
Tommy, Mickey, Tim,
We're going tonight, right? I don't know.
and the biggest man on campus.
Why do they call you meat? Because it's so big?
When they're not in class, they're into everything.
Save your energy, you're gonna need it.
Okay. Okay, pull over. Coast is clear.
But what they'd like to get into most is a place called Porky's.
I left my ID at home. Here, use this one. That's my Bible school card.
Unfortunately, we can only show you the outside of Porky's, because what goes on inside is not to be believed.
The boy in the locker room. Oh, it turned me on.
Really?
We'd like to show you more of the locker room, but this kind of physical education just isn't taught. We can't show you more of the shower scene, because what they're looking at isn't watered down.
They want us to look. They want us to look.
Porky's. You too will be back for a second look.
Well, Porky's. This is a comedy. If you can bear your sides aching for an hour and I think it's 29 minutes or some stupid thing like that, I guarantee you, you will enjoy the movie, you will get plenty of laughs, and you will get a whole bunch of new lines to use on your family and friends. And only you will know the correlation from the line to Porky's. However, like I said, it's addicting. You get to watching these old movies. It'll suck you in. So we voted that Porky's was the funniest movie that everybody could agree on. And that's, that's our suggestion for movies. Now, some of the other topics that we fixed, no more stadiums built by the taxpayers for football leagues. I know that's going to upset somebody's apple cart and, all that, but we got to stop spending money. They're into billions of dollars now, 3 or 4 billions of dollars to build these stadiums. We need to stop. If you're a franchise and you want a new stadium, then, do a GoFundMe page. Get all your fans to put the money in, but it shouldn't be the taxpayers' responsibility. Especially now that, you used to get all the money for parking around the stadium. So it was a great revenue for the local municipality. Now they only get a percentage because the parking is controlled by a third party, not even the stadium or the event center. Isn't that wonderful? There's a way to get around you, though. Get around it. We also discussed the management of the roads. Now, I know a few people that work for DOT. One of them's on a week-to-week contract and been there since God was created and knows the ins and outs of the place. But, the fact is that we have potholes and we have humongous holes in our roads. And guess what? Come Friday, we're going to be plowing those roads. So we're going to be digging up those potholes again. So if I could ask DOT, whoever works there, for whatever reason, can we fill in some of these potholes before we start filling them with ice and water and car bumpers and rims. And if not, I mean, if you need help, just come to Dunkin' Donuts on Upper Front Street. We'll probably have a half dozen guys that'll surely go out there and direct traffic for you. We can lean on the shovel just as good as any DOT worker. Yeah, I went there. Sucks to be you. And what else do we have? Oh, the present state of the union. Now that we have Mr. Trump, President Trump, we have Elon Musk and Shawami, going to do the job on all the federal agencies, and they're going to move them out of Washington, D.C., get them into nicer areas with nicer people, get the bureaucrats gone. This is like, for a constitutionalist like me, this is like heaven. I have one question though. When you guys do all this and there's an actual bump there, I mean, I've opened and closed restaurants and bars and companies, and I know that there's a lag time to everything. Do you think we'll even notice? I mean, really, how many agencies within the federal government are in contact with you, not even on a daily basis, but a weekly basis? How many times have any federal agency come in contact with you? Hardly ever, right? I have, can't even remember the last time other than filing my taxes, right? Cooper, get out of there. Next my underwear drawer. Looks unloaded. This makes a nice neat pile. Doesn't chew on anything. Just decides that everything needs to be on the ground. When he gets to the bottom, he's very happy. But that's another story. I have a neurotic dog. Living with my wife, I'd be neurotic too. But that's another story. So with these guys out there pumping on the brakes on the federal government, I don't think it's going to take them 2 years. I, the one guy from he was from FEMA, gave a response saying, even to do what FEMA does would take years to rebuild. No, we have a whole logistics center in the military, all 5 militaries, in fact. We have the same infrastructure, if it's not better. I don't think we'll have any lag time if FEMA goes. We'll just save all that money and put the real experts in, those guys with the fancy bridges that go across rivers and nobody gets even wet. Or the guys that know how to set up advanced medical facilities, those blow up tents with their clean rooms and all that. And, what about supplies? Oh my goodness. They got these big trucks with all these big wheels. Oh, they can go through anything. They can bring supplies, right? Instead of, a U-Haul rental truck that FEMA shows up in, half full of nothing. So a lot of people were ticked off about that we still haven't really done anything for people in Western North Carolina, Asheville and Chimney Top and Cooksville and all those places that just got told. I mean, these places got wiped off the map. When they found bodies in trees, they found documents from miles and miles and miles away in the streams. Whole houses. I mean, even the slab that the house was sitting on got washed away. How is that? How does a concrete slab get washed away? Well, because the water was a pretty fast mover. So, I guess that statement, turn around, don't drown. Better listen to it, people. It all depends. If I'm in my wife's skateboard, I just pick it up and carry it across the puddle. But if I'm in my truck, I figure I can get through almost anything. Mm. Oh, the last thing we talked about was this Starlink, right? Because I just ordered it. Now I ordered a big one for the house, right? It's a big size, and then they have the Starlink Mini, and I ordered one of those too, because this thing is smaller. It's 1/3 the size of the regular Starlink, and it can fit in your backpack with your laptop or whatever else you carry in there. And as long as you have a power source, which could be just the power, like what you carry back up your uh, cell phone, it's amazing. So that order got placed. I'm confident because I filled out all the paperwork and sent it over to the CFO to get paid. And I'm excited. The uh, the big Starlink takes a lot of power, like 50 watts, but the new Mini only takes 24. So that's great. I mean, you're running off half the power, and that's probably the most limiting factor with these Starlinks is, keeping them powered up. But that's the only downside I can see. I mean, instant internet anywhere you want to be. And not only is it instant, but the Mini has everything built within the panel itself, where the home thing has a couple of units. Everything's built into the Mini. So I convinced two other people this morning to order theirs because we're getting tired of being dropped all the time here in upstate New York, because New York City takes all the money and Buffalo takes what's ever left, and Rochester and the rest of us can go suck hind tit because we all vote Republican. And Albany is Democrats because they all come out of the city. See how that works? I guess from the old guy, most part of my day today was realizing that there's old guys just like me who make as little sense as I do, and have the ability to take anything that we see and turn it into a three-ring circus. Um, I hope, I sincerely hope that everybody, you know, from the age of 60 down enjoys their life the way I enjoyed my life. I mean, sure, I had tragedy in my life and I had disappointments, but without those, it's not really a life. You're not living, you're just walking through. I mean, I tried everything I could possibly try. Every stupid idea that somebody came up with that they would say, "Oh, this looks like you could make money." Well, they probably didn't try it, but I did. 90% of the time I was wrong. Which, you got to be something. Being wrong is okay. Um, I spent a lot of time today on it, uh, enjoying the people I meet and all that. And it's funny how many of these guys who are so verbose and so outlandish and so funny at Dunkin' Donuts won't get on a microphone and a camera. This little microphone, this little camera just scares the bejesus out of them. And I mean, it did for me for quite a while too. And it's still intimidating. I have to check myself because I all of a sudden realize, hey man, I sound real wishy-washy. Where the hell is Tom at? So those are all things I have to work on. But come on. I've been here just over 3 months now. Give me a break. No, well, 4 months now. So give me a break. I'm learning. I'm like the blind man. Somebody stole my cane. Think about it. Blind man without his cane. Come on, that's a good joke. All right. I'm glad you heard my ramblings today. I know all the guys that are listening in. They wouldn't say anything if you had a knife to their throat, but they're laughing. I know they are. The chitlins are all downstairs playing in the game room. The reason I know they're playing in the game room is because I'm looking at the electric use and it keeps spiking. So I have them on the dual system with the electric from the grid and the cell in case so they don't lose their games. Because 4 kids losing their game at the same time could be hazardous to your health. Joshua, got anything to say? My friend, my wizard, my pal.
You know, I'm one of those people that wears pajamas everywhere.
Yeah, I figured you were. Big
I
sissy
uh,
man.
I remember when I started working for myself, and there were a few inciting things. But one of the things that really bothered me was the amount of women that were coming into the workplace in like yoga pants, and I was like, that is underwear, and if they're gonna wear underwear, I'm gonna wear the most comfortable pants that I can find. And I found bamboo house pants that are amazing. I
See,
wear
now
them
you're gonna get
everywhere.
me in trouble. Now you're gonna get me in trouble.
I'm in trouble. How? How
One
do
of
you get
my
in trouble?
one of my favorite things to talk about is these spandex stretchy pants that women wear. Ladies, if you're gonna wear a pair of these, right, with or without your thong, and they're so skin tight that you don't have camel toe, you have elephant toe. And if you're gonna walk past me with a cut off blouse and your windjammer sneakers and your yoga towel around your neck, you know, appropriately tied off to the right or left, and I can make out the dimples in your ass, I'm gonna look. You put it out there for the world to see. I, if you want, I'll raise my hand. Yes, I am looking at you, and not your face. It's as simple as that. Don't put these things on display if you don't want to be noticed. I've seen, Benny. He's like a mastiff. He drools. He'll be standing there staring at somebody, and he'll be drooling. He'll be drooling. It's like gobs of drool. So some guys take it to the extreme. Me, I'm subtle about it. I take a good long hard look. No, I don't take any pictures. I'm not weird or anything, but there's a memory burned in my back of my eyelids. Let's face it, I'm a guy. Might be 73, but I'm still a guy. Okay. Now, if you think those stretchy pants that they put on and make everybody look like, everybody's a stripper, what about in summertime when they have these dresses and you think there's shorts underneath, but there aren't? I mean, they're like tennis dresses that length and they're bebopping around, especially with all these college girls in the summertime. However, there's no short, like my wife, she had these short shirts, but they always had like these shorts built in it,
Yeah, modest
or you
levels.
wore, yeah. Now, nope, it's all there to see, and they're not afraid to jump up and down or twist and shout. And as the old guys say, "Thank you, Jesus, for I can see."
I for a spell I lived in Wilmington, North Carolina, a wonderful place and home to UNCW, University of North Carolina, Wilmington campus.
Wonderful.
When you're driving anywhere in North Carolina in between the months of, I don't know, maybe April to November, there are just girls driving around in bikinis.
Well, that's the way it is in Wildwood, New Jersey, and all those where the boardwalks are. Like Long Beach Island and Atlantic City, wherever you get close to the beach, everybody loses their minds and their inhibitions. They all, even the ones that shouldn't be wearing bikinis wear them. And but it's the beach. Come on, guys. I may look like a beach whale when I'm on the beach, but I'm still sitting there with my stogie in my mouth and some Karen yelling that I'm giving her kids secondhand smoke disease or some shit. You know, I just put my music up a little louder and tune out the whole world. It's just, something funny about the beach. I don't care who you are. You can hate the beach, but when you get there, your whole attitude changes. It's just something that draws all that energy, that bad energy out of you. The sun and the water and the splashing and the kids laughing. Yeah, it's a good time. I love Wildwood. I love when I go deep sea fishing. I go out of Tuckerton, New Jersey. Why? It's just a nice area. People, I go where the people are nice. Who the hell wants to go in the middle of the city and have to argue about, yeah. But on the phone, you told me $200, and now you're telling me $600. No, you want to go and have a good time, so you go to the small places. It's like around here. We have all the chain restaurants around here, but nobody goes to them except the travelers. We're on a really good place. But, we've got 17 to the city and 81 that comes through Pennsylvania and 88 that goes out to Albany and 86 which goes to Rochester and Buffalo. So to get into upstate New York, you got to come right through us. So we have a lot of chain restaurants, but it's only the travelers who go to them. Everybody else goes to the mom and pop places. And the food is always good, but I noticed that it's getting more expensive. Everybody's apologizing because they had to raise the price. Steaks. Wow. Have you seen the price of steaks lately? That's amazing. We barter for our beef and pork and lamb and stuff. We'll actually, three or four of us will go in on it and split it up among ourselves. But I can't imagine going to a grocery store and paying $18, $20 a pound for a T-bone or a porterhouse steak or a ribeye. You know, that that just seems crazy to me. And so we were talking about prices again, because old people do that.
All
I
right, wait,
think
wait, wait.
that's
So prices. What is the cost of gas up your way?
the cheapest I've seen is 308.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting how that happens, right?
Well, the Hodgies that run the S&Ks are the cheapest. They're always at uh, 2 or 3 cents cheaper. But if you use a card, it's more expensive. The cash price is the cheap price, but the card is, more expensive. And after the Hodgies come the Cumberland Farms, but you have to have your debit card linked to your farm card so you can one-stop shopping. Like they want your debit card linked. And it's funny, they don't link credit cards, they link debit cards, and because they want that instantaneous money. And but we use a lot of gas without ethanol unleaded because of our equipment. So we have a 200-gallon tank on one of the trucks that we just keep full. And we have an account at one of the small gas stations that still sell unleaded rather than ethanol gas. And on the farm, we can use it as much as we want. That makes a difference. It keeps the price down. Um, but I was amazed. I can't believe people are paying $5, $6 a pound for butter, $4 for a dozen eggs. Wow, I got real. They were showing me the flyers, like from Price Chopper and Weiss and Wegmans. What happened to Wegmans? Seems like the last few years they were such a great store, and now they're just another grocery store. It's like they're going through a fatigue where their employees are fatigued, their pricing is fatigued. Yeah, I was watching people change prices the whole time I was in Wegmans. People just going around changing tags. So I don't know what's happening. I really don't care because I know where I'm at, what I can do, what I can't do. Imagine a lot of people right now are rethinking their life choices, especially with the snow coming in. While the rest of us are going, hey, we finally get to use that new snowmobile or test out the new belt on the old one. You know, we get to run the dogs in the snow, which is always fun. So I guess it's all in your perspective, right? What you like and what you don't. I have a lot of friends that run out of here down to Florida and North Carolina and the Gulf Shore and wherever just to stay out of the snow. They won't be back until April. Like I said, wouldn't it be nice to have a country where everybody that's like-minded and has a temperament and anxiety low all get to live in one place? I'm telling you, you make a state like with Amish people and all people like that, you know, who like to cook and put together these strange German dishes and Polish dishes and things. I'm like, yeah, baby, do it. You know, I may not live there, but I'll definitely take a trip there. You know, keep writing the CIA where, you know, is there a waiting list for positions when you close the doors and lock them for the final time? Is there going to be a ceremony or something? I'm all excited to think that the CIA could go away, and it's actually on the list because it's out of control, not only budget wise, but what they're doing. So we gotta wait and see. Waiting for Swami. I thought he was going to be the weaker of the two, but he's actually turned out to be the stronger of the two between him and Elon Musk.
You know, it's an interesting pairing, and the reason why I agree with it is twofold. One, Vivek is a billionaire in his own right. He created a $1 billion pharmaceutical
Right.
company. But Elon is currently running 4 different operations. And
Right.
so if you're going to have somebody in oversight and another person in executive, like executing the oversight, it's a good pairing. And they both know how to talk very large numbers, very, very large numbers.
And I don't think either of them is impeded by lack of expansive uh, organization. Elon can run 4 companies that are huge and still have time for his private life. Swami is like, I imagine he puts in a lot of work, right? And he puts in a lot of effort. But I bet you he puts in the same amount of effort having fun as he does doing his job. I just get that sense that this guy is not all work. He's definitely got a lot of play in him. And I kind of like it. I very much enjoy waiting and with anticipation of what they're going to solve and how they're going to solve things. I think that it's going to be a very interesting time to be alive in. And I'm going to look forward to the next couple of years that I'm going to be around and see these guys.
Here, let's take a few minutes with Elon. You're going to enjoy this. This is preposterous.
Preposterous, okay.
Oh, why are we muted?
I don't know.
It's
Really?
insane.
I'm the new kid.
Basically, the top 20 and or even the top 100 is like totally dominated by China. It's
Really?
insane. Yeah, there's like China and a little bit of Korea and Taiwan.
So are you in the top 20 in the world or
Yeah,
top
my
20
buddy Joe
wow,
Rogan.
in Diablo?
Yeah.
Is it
Star
possible
Wars?
to learn this power?
Do you want to tell everybody your handle? No, no, don't tell them.
Uh,
Don't tell them. It's not worth it.
Well, they actually listed me with my actual name in the list.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, there's only 2 Americans in the top 20. The rest, almost everyone is from Asia. Otherwise,
we were talking about something that I think is a really good, because people always think that video games are frivolous. But what you were saying, I think that's really important, is it's so difficult that it requires you to only think about that, and it can like relieve stress.
Yeah.
It can take out the rest of the world because it's so hard.
Yeah.
You can only think about that.
Yeah, I mean, if I play a video game on extreme difficulty, then I have to concentrate fully on the game, and it has a calming effect.
Yeah.
It sort of chills down, I mean, you mentioned, I think, and many people like, if you play martial arts or you play pool, like something that forces you. It's like, I think anything that forces you to concentrate fully actually has a calming effect. I find it just sort of like. Kind of a restoring effect mentally.
Yeah,
It's like, it's good.
Jiu-jitsu's like that.
Yeah.
Archery's like that as well.
Yeah.
Like when you're shooting a bow, you have to. There's so many moving things, and you have to think only of it, and it cleans the mind.
It cleans the mind. Yeah, exactly.
I was reading this study about surgeons, where they found that surgeons who regularly play video games make less errors.
Well, I mean, video games require manual dexterity, so it makes sense.
Completely makes sense.
Actually, if somebody was like epic at video games, I'd say like their surgical skills can be very good, because in order to be good at video games, any kind of fast reaction video games.
Look at this: 32% fewer errors, 24% faster, and scored 26% better overall than their non-player colleagues.
Oh, I believe that for sure.
That's incredible.
Well, all right, so. My point here is just that we were talking about the fact that he can do 6 different companies, and we're talking about a guy who takes his downtime excessively serious.
Yeah, well, he will tell you part of his lifestyle is enjoying himself to the max, and it doesn't take money or an airplane. Just being with his kids and running around like a real dad does it for him. And he's definitely a throwback, but so is Joe Rogan. I mean, he spends time with his children. He makes it a priority in his life. So these guys are not the norm. They're the throwbacks. They're, I love seeing it, but I know it's not everybody, right? So, yeah, is it the step in the right direction? Yeah. Is 0101 2025 achievable? I hope so. I mean, I meet with a whole group of people tomorrow morning and on the campaign. I mean, I'm trying to put this volunteer force together and run it through a 501c, and I have a few friends in the government here, but I don't have enough, obviously, to get this pushed through as quickly as I want. But everybody sits around and says, "Oh, you can't do anything with that. It's never going to go anywhere." Well, if you start off with that premise, you're going to be self actualized. You'll predict your future. Me, I'm on the other side. I go, well, if I give it a good shot, if I put a little money into it and put out a campaign with bumper stickers and wrist things, and see if I can make it fly over the internet, it would be good. I'll send package off to high profile people and see if we can snag somebody, just to be better and do better. 01012025, and we can maybe, with Trump beating down the walls of the federal government, maybe we can start changing people and people's ideas and how we entertain with each other and react and overreact, and stop making the first thing out of our mouth something about color or the way you were raised or your education level. Maybe we can just treat each other like people, like one another, like how you want to be treated. It would be an interesting time, even if it falls flat on its face. Oh, gosh, I enjoy this. I very much enjoy it. I loved it going down this road. I just need to get it more organized because as being a brick and mortar owner, being involved in something that I don't know, one, and two, do not have control of, makes me highly nervous, anxious. So I have to remember my own words and trust in those who know, and be the person that listens because you don't know. And that's very hard for me, but I'm getting there. I took a lot of criticisms last night after I, did some videos commentating on it. Everybody had an opinion what I was doing wrong. Finally I said I need a little bit of positive reinforcement. So far you have beaten my pants off me with negative content. Now I need a few positive comments, so at least I don't go to bed crying tonight. You don't want to see the big fat guy crying. It's not a pretty sight. I sob and my nose runs. What else, Josh? Is there anything else we can talk about?
Let's see. What are you going to be doing between now and Friday? What are we going to talk about Friday night?
I don't know what we're going to talk about Friday night. I'm down to 9 suggestions of things, but I have a feeling that on Friday night we'll be talking one about the weather. Obviously, everybody's going to want to know about that. But two, who is he pointing to the FBI and Homeland Security and those agencies? I think he's going to let the bag out of the answers out of the bag on Thursday or Friday morning. So Friday night we should have a lot to talk about. So I'm kind of leaving it open. I have a few things that I'll do in case nothing comes about it. However, I'm hoping for more appointments to the bigger agencies so we can do a deep dive on them and find out who they are. And I also hope he maintains this arm's reach, keeping all the politicians and all the movers and shakers at arm's reach and not letting them into the administration. That's my hope. I don't know where you are, Josh, but I imagine someplace similar.
So far, I like the appointments. I think my favorite one is the new Department of Education. She's the wife of the gentleman who founded the WWE.
Right. I thought that was apropos.
It's like, who you need to put in that position? A pissed off mom. That's exactly who you need to put in that position. 100%.
Well, you know what? I'll go further than that. You need a pissed off mom with 3 kids below the age of 12.
Also true.
And she was some type of executive before the kids came through. So she's got all this pent up, crucial points that she wants to make that, nobody listens to. And she's been out of the job market for about 3 years. So she's there loaded for bear. Guess what? The redhead has appeared. She brought me coffee and water. What's my
This dog chewed up your wallet and money and everything.
The dog chewed my wallet and money and everything.
I thought you said he was in your underwear drawer.
He was in the bin, yeah. In my underwear the last I saw him. But now Aaron said that he got my wallet. I think I left it on the bed.
BJ's card.
I guess I'm not going to use my BJ card because it's all tuned up. Here, guys, take a look.
Oh, Cooper.
Yep. He is a monster. He's just, thank you. Aaron, why don't you say hello to Josh here? Let me get this stuff out of her way so she can walk around here. And oh my God, it's got my wallet shredded. And it was my favorite wallet. I had only 2 pieces of duct tape on it.
And all your poker winnings.
Well, money is money, come on. It's just a tool to get what you want. But replacing my BJ's card is going to be tough. Oh, you're going to love this. This is what's left of my wallet.
Oh my goodness, Cooper.
Look at this. Da, 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 da. Yeah. Oh, this is my preferred shopper card. He's got to. We can throw that away. Come on. All right.
You might need it.
Oh, look, I just found more money. Oh.
Hello.
Hey, lady, how are you?
Good, how are you on this fine Wednesday that we're preparing to be snowed in?
Look at this.
I've been listening to fun Dunkin Donut stories.
Fun Dunkin Donuts stories?
Oh, yeah.
Stories around the coffee clutch at Dunkin Donuts. Yep.
They're good stuff. I like those stories.
He's a great storyteller.
Yeah, Torres come pick me up. He says, I'm not staying in this house today, and neither are you. He said, I don't care what you have to do, but get us something on your foot and let's go.
We'll have to take that money to the bank. As long as it's more than half there, they'll replace it.
Maybe I'll just keep it, frame it, and say Cooper's first withdrawal.
Yeah, you can frame it if it's $2, not $10.
Well, hey, Aaron, you take him out and clean up the poo. Why don't you just keep an eye on it? Did he eat both my keys? My keys for my truck and the key for the door? See, this is the problem with a puppy that is big enough to be, who knows?
All right,
you know
go
what?
clean up. Go clean up.
All right, well, listen, I love you too. Thank you for everything that you do for me. And what do we have later? Do we have PAD later at 6 o'clock?
Yeah. We've got a let's see. How to prevent your feet. What does this say? How to prevent your feet from getting hurt over the holidays.
Sit in the recliner.
Sit in the recliner.
With nurse practitioner. She's going to be answering some questions.
I'm going to be interested to listen to that. Okay, I found the keys. Isn't this just, look at this. That's what's left in my wallet. Oh, man. If I find the third piece, I'll know I have my poker money. That's where I stuck my poker money in the third piece. But I guess I gotta get a new wallet. All right, love you, man. Thank you for everything.
Tom the Wetner. He's out.